All right, dig that, pedal freaks. We're visiting Jam Pedals here on the floor of 2018 Winter NAMM in Anaheim, California. And I'm here with Elias Pantaleon, and Jam is from Greece, and there's an abundance of really cool pedals from Greek pedal makers in Greece at this show, and these guys are no slouches. There's a bunch of really cool stuff here that we have to show you. We're going to start with the new version of the Red MkII, and you also have a brand new fuzz pedal called the Eureka. Why don't you tell us about those?
Yeah, so the Red MkII is brand new for the NAMM show 2018. What we did with it is we put it in a bigger box, added a second foot switch with a small circuit inside that boosts it from behind, so you get a lot more grit out of it whenever you feel like it, for solos or whatever. And then we have an extra two-way toggle switch that actually switches between two different clipping modes, so there's an asymmetrical and a symmetrical clipping. The new clipping mode offers way more headroom, and it's a bit more dynamic and has a lot more oomph to it. So that's it for about the Red MkII. Now with the Eureka, what we went for, and it took us some time, but we feel we've nailed it, is we took what we liked about germanium fuzz pedals and what we like about silicon fuzz pedals, and tried to combine the characteristics out of them that we dig and put them in one box, and we feel we've nailed it with a Eureka. It's super friendly to play with any setup. It's very nice with any other pedal in front or behind it. And what we also did, which is really cool, is a three-way toggle switch to switch between stock, boost in the lows, and then even more boost in the lows. So that's really handy with different pickups, different amps, and different pedals.
Okay, and of course the yellow ducky graphic adds vibe.
Yeah. It's had a great reception so far. People are digging it, and they're digging the sounds too.
Now, does that actually have a combination of germanium and silicon chips in it?
So this is silicon based.
Okay.
So it doesn't have the inconsistencies that you may find with germanium style transistors. But we've voiced it in such a way, and we've designed the circuit in such a way that you get the soaring mid-range of the germanium transistors and the dynamics in there, but you also get the full the full response of the big muff style pedals.
Okay, and what about the interior of the Red MkII? Is that also a silicon-based pedal? Yeah,
that's also a silicon-based pedal. It's our stock Red Mark I in there, but that we've tweaked a bit to add the second clipping circuit that I mentioned, and then there's another circuit in there to boost it. So yeah.
Okay. Why don't we both get down there and let's manipulate the controls a little bit and see what we get. And you can talk us through. Just tell us what you're doing.
All right. So now we're in stock mode. So this would be the Red MkII Mark I as it would be in its older version. Let's listen. This is the new clipping mode, so you hear how it opens up a bit, and it gets you a bit more output, which is why we dined the level down a bit. The tone is super flexible, and it gives you a lot of a big range. It's almost like a filter. You can get many sounds from there. And now let's hit that second foot switch and take things away. That's a Red MkII.
Cool, and let's move over to the Eureka too.
Yeah, so let's give that a go. We're in the stock position at the moment. I'll be flicking through those for you to hear the bass response increasing and increasing. Plays along with everything.
So what's the pricing on both of these?
Yeah, so we're looking at $229 for the Red MkII Mark II, and it's $209 for our new Eureka fuzz. They're currently on a pre-order sale. They'll be out about May, April. So yeah, whoever wants can take advantage of that. sweet discount.
Well, you're also debuting a new multi-effects pedal, so let's reconfigure things for a moment and come back with that. And we were talking about this earlier, but all Jam pedals are 9-volt powered and they're true bypass and they're analog.
All of our pedals are 9-volt DC. They're true bypass, yes. They're analog, yes. As is our brand new multi-pedal, the Pink Flow.
Cool. Well, thanks for walking us into that. Let's hear the new multi-pedal. Well, one moment before we do, why don't you give me a little background on how it was developed? Or what you guys wanted to do.
All right, yeah. So we have been getting a lot of feedback from people that our pedals help them get legendary player style tones, so like David Gilmour, you know, Eric Johnson, many of that. So we thought we'd give it a try and put all the effects that we already make and feel will actually help them get there, get to those David Gilmour tones in one box. So this box has 7 effects.
Cool. Well, I definitely heard Gilmour in a box when we were getting our volumes ready for this. So why don't we hear this? And why don't you tell us what Yannis, who is actually the founder and owner, Yannis thank you.
Yeah.
Yannis Anastakis is going to show us. He's going to be manipulating the board while Elias, you can explain what he's up to.
Sure. Well, let's start off with the waterfall, the ripple, and the delay Llama doing some legendary Pink Flow.
Great. That sounds very naturalistic.
All right. Now what we're going to be doing is checking out, you know, a very typical David Gilmour lead type sound, which is combining our Tube Dreamer 58 overdrive and our Red Muck Mark II and a little bit of delay.
Cool. Cool. I noticed there's a button on there that says Seagull. We have to go there.
Last but not least, it's a first for us. We've incorporated a wah circuit in there, and we've actually tweaked it the same way that David did in Echoes with Pink Floyd. So what that is the input and the output feedbacking one into another and producing this crazy sustained tone that you can actually control with your passive pickup guitar. Manipulating the range of the tone will get you different pitches. So let's give that a listen.
Cool. Great. It sounds like you got that out of the middle of my brain.
A couple of more things to mention maybe is that we've incorporated a send-return effects loop between our drive and modulation section so you can put whatever you want in there. And there's also an expression pedal input for the delay time of the delay Llama.
Cool. And just to quickly summarize, what effects have you woven into here, just going across the board from left to right?
So starting off, we have a Dinosaur Compressor running into our Tube Dreamer 58 overdrive, then into our Red Muck Mark II, then into our Waterfall Chorus Vibrato, all analog Bucket Brigade Chorus Vibrato, into our Ripple Phaser, and then lastly into our Delay Llama Plus, which is an analog delay with a maximum time of 600 milliseconds, Bucket Brigade. It has a hold foot switch to feedback the repeats, and it has the aforementioned expression input.
Great, it's a formidable pedal. And then the Seagull, right, can't forget the Seagull. Okay, well we're going to move to a different area right now. We're going to move to bass. So let's just take a quick break and come back and do that. All right, earlier he was talking, now he's rocking in a very funky way. Elias is going to tell us about a brand new line of bass pedals that Jam is also debuting at NAMM this year. What do we have down here?
New for this year is our bass pedal line. We've worked hard to come up with pedals that we feel are complementing the low-end freaks out there, you know?
Yeah.
They're starting to like effects more, and we feel that we are having some new sounds for them here. First off, we have our Wakow Plus pedal available as a bass wah. This is it. It's beautiful. It has a 5-way toggle switch that shifts the EQ. So no matter what bass you're playing or amp you're playing, you can every time find the sweet spot. Moving on, this is the Dinosaur Compressor. It's a vintage squashy compressor with a lot of sustain. It's not a utility compressor. It's a compressor that gets you that sound from way back when. These three are new completely in terms of circuit. This is our Lucid Dreamer bass drive, and the layout is, it has a level, a tone, and a gain, and it has a mix knob for the dry-wet ratio, and it has 2 gain stages, so foot switchable gain stages.
And can they be combined?
Absolutely, and that's massive. So moving on, this is our Rattler Distortion pedal. Same layout. It features the LM308 new old stock chip inside. Vintage style distortion, again 2 gain stages. And this is our Red Mark, the Red Mark Fuzz distortion pedal. Also same layout, also 2 gain stages, and it sounds massive. Moving on, this is our Ripple bass. It's our 2-stage phaser, very sweet, full. It can get from really slow speeds to super trebly fast action. This is our Waterfall Chorus Vibrato. It's been revered by so many players over the years. All analog bucket brigade chorus vibrato. It has 2 modes, a deep for the depth of the modulation, depth and speed knobs. And now, last but not least, this is the Ripplyfall, which combines these 2 into one enclosure with the added features of having the expression pedal inputs for the speed and the depth of the waterfall side, and also this question mark switch, which will get you ring modulator type sounds anytime.
Okay.
Also our Delay Llama series and our Chill series, the Big Chill and Chill tremolos, are bass and guitar ready, so we didn't have to update these.
Well, I like really noisy, frightening, terrifying noises. Could you give us, just before we end, a taste of something super nasty with maybe a little ring modulator added to it?
Let's do that.
Yeah, good. Something psychotic. Cool, thank you very much. We've been having fun in the low-end playground here, the low-end Sonic Playground, with our friends from Jam Pedals. And if people want to find out more about you guys online, where do they go?
www.jampedals.com.
All right. And if you want to find out more about what's going on at NAMM 2018 in Anaheim, go to premierguitar.com and check out lots of our videos about the coolest new gear that we can possibly find to show you. Later.